Hey guys, Tacoma guy here, doing another video on Will 33's fit on my Tacoma. The last video was pretty good. I didn't show a couple things, and then I had a technical error in my terminology. So I always want to do another one, kind of update that one, fix it, and give a little more information. So Will 33's fit. This is just, I run the Cooper's ST Max, and when I'm talking about a 33, I'm talking about a 285 by 70, which is a 33 by 11 and a half. Some manufacturers will be a little smaller, some will be a little bigger. I believe the Cooper is pretty much on the larger side. So when we come around to the back, the easy thing is the 33 just fits. There's not a whole lot to do back here. It just fits in there. It gets a little close here, but everything fits. So in the back it's pretty easy, you just throw it on there. I do have the car leaf springs, which gives you about a 2.5 to 3 inch lift. So I got about 2.5 inch to 3 inch lift in the back, and of course they clear perfectly fine. The front is going to be another story. The front is where all your work is going to take place to get them to fit. They will fit, okay. The biggest thing will be, the first thing is going to be is your offset. I have aftermarket control arms on here. I have the aftermarket control arms, and the first thing you're going to happen with the stock wheels, the backspace is too much. You have 5 3/4 inch backspace, so the wheel, the tire is right here. You go to a 275, which I'm going to call a 32 inch tire. Go to a 32 inch tire, 275 by 17. Your tire is right here. It's right next to the control arm. It doesn't hit, but it does hit on the back, and maybe in the front, but it hits one of these for sure. It hits in the back of the control arm when you turn the wheel. It's going to hit. The 275 will fit in the wheel well, really without a lift. It just squeezes in there. The 275 is going to be the biggest tire that you can fit in the front with no lift. You're still going to have to do some kind of trimming in the front, and in the back probably just a little bit. Just take this little edge off. So even with the stock wheels with the terrible back spacing, the 275 will squeeze in there. For best fit, you're going to need aftermarket wheels though. On the inside of your frame, the 275 on a stock tire, a stock wheel is going to hit here, and it's going to hit your lower control arm. It's going to hit those two spots. I have offset wheels. I have the offset wheels. So now we're going to talk about what wheels you need to fit 33 inch tires on. The back spacing is going to be 5 3/4. The minimum you should get is a 4 3/4. 4 3/4 is what I have, because I'm trying to squeeze it in behind the cab mount without having to do that, because at the time there was no one here in my area really to do that modification for me. Now there's a truck guy about 20 minutes away who built his own pre-runners, so now I'm set. Whatever I need. Tube chassis, I'll lift a tube chassis if I want, so now I'm set. So I'm going to get that done. But for most of us, you're going to need the 4 3/4 back spacing. We don't care about offset for trucks. We're worried about offset. That's your fitment when you're trying to get a flush mount to your fender. With the truck, the wheels are going to stick out. So just face that fact right there. What you are worried about is backspace, because backspace is your clearance. Backspacing is your clearance so you don't hit things like the control arm and the frame. But even with this, the 4 3/4 backspace, I'm still just touching the frame a little bit, but not too bad. And I off-road pretty good. So you want 4 3/4 backspacing. That's going to get you behind the cab mount, so you shouldn't have any problems with that. But you are going to have to trim. You're going to be trimming in here. Off-roading, you're still rubbing here. If you're off-roading, you're hitting the top of the fender. And for the street, you're hitting this. This keeps bending more and more. I'm going to have to build some kind of support or something to pull that back. I keep trimming these, and every time it hits, it bends it forward, and I got to trim it more. So both sides of this started hitting again. So for the street, that's all it takes. We're going to start it up here. Let's crank this wheel. The last video I didn't show you the cab mount. So if you can see this, I've got about 1 inch of clearance between the cab mount, so I'm fine there, and it doesn't need to be done. But again, 4 3/4 backspace. This wheel is an 8.5 inch wide wheel. So if I go to a 9-inch wheel, we're going to be a little bit closer. We should still fit in there. If you stick to an 8, if you go to a 4.5 inch backspace, I would think it should still clear too. It should be fine. That's the rear. This is going to be your front. So sitting here doesn't look like it hits, but you can see there's fresh rubbing on there, so it keeps hitting. But I think that's when you're going over bumps. As you can see, when you go over a bump, that probably hits. But for the street, for the most part, do your trimming, get a proper back spacing, get probably at least a 2-inch lift, and you're going to be set. So that's the street version of will 33-inch tires fit.